Hey, this is Edward today. I wanted to record another video talking about having systems in place related to anything you do. Either you are a buyer buying your business or you're a business owner running a company. I think this video is going to be fairly relevant to most people to realize that either getting access to better systems or buying into a system or just using some sort of system that's known in the industry is really going to help you to become very efficient at doing different things. So I've talked today to a few different first-time buyers related to buying businesses. I'm in the buying businesses space, and then I talked to a few more experienced people related to buying businesses and bought a few companies already. Uh, and what's interesting is when you look at a lot of these buyers in the space or people in the market, you tend to realize that a lot of the individuals that do this don't follow a particular process from start to finish. So that process is a little bit messy on all sides. And most people that I talk to agree to that just because they're looking for some sort of protocol to follow to be able to be confident that the most optimal result will happen eventually, right? So most people are very inconsistent on following a system because one, they don't have it, and two is even if they have something, it's not actually tied in together. Let's say they have one component fairly nailed down because they've done that. They used to do that a lot more often. But then the other component is maybe they don't have a team member that does that, or maybe they've hired somebody in the past that done that for them, and they're not as efficient in that system. And to just give you more context, I'll give an example. When you're looking to acquire a company, really you're looking into a lot of different things. You're looking into um, how are you gonna define your goals as far as your investment thesis, like what kind of businesses you're gonna buy, what kind of buy box you're gonna have, what kind of markets you're gonna go after, how are you gonna be able to add value to some of these markets, um, how are you gonna be able to essentially integrate some of these markets in between each other? Is that realistic? So it's kind of like setting up your strategy, setting up your goals. A lot of people don't have a way of thinking around that, and they don't have a framework around that, so they get to do a lot of different things that don't make any sense, right? They get to look at random deals all the time, and they don't have a way of like deciding what's going to happen next. So that's a system, right? If you don't have a system on your investment thesis, you're wasting potential opportunity and potential um, time you're doing this. The second thing is like, for example, uh, having very exclusive resources related to what brokers sell, what kind of businesses within your investment thesis, or having specific insights into what channels will work for some of your buy boxes you have. So understanding that quickly and be able to determine that very quickly is going to help you essentially get very prepared for receiving a lot of deal flow very quickly and being able to get access to deal flow instead of you, let's say, getting 5 deals this month because you have some of these systems and you know how to define them and how to build them. You might just get 30 to 40 to 50 deals this month. So that's also important. That's called market research and deal flow preparation, right? Um, Same for preliminary analysis. If you don't understand how to quickly look into a deal, if you don't understand what questions to ask and what things to look into to know if a deal is bankable with some of the lenders in the market and some of the creative mechanisms on how you can finance a deal, well, you're not really going to be able to predict how you're going to close it. You're not going to be able to know what deal structure you're going to use and so forth, and you're not going to be able to really close such a deal because you're not going to understand how to randomly do this. So again, that's a system for analysis and preliminary deal structuring, right? If you have all these things in place, what's interesting is even if you're a very experienced buyer and you've done deals before and you understand some of these concepts, If you have everything kind of back to back and you have almost all the answers to all the questions right away in a system, in a protocol written down, you can move at a way higher speed. Um, Now, imagine if you have a system, but you also have a component of you're able to talk to somebody that's also advising in that system and customizing that system on behalf, again, of on your goals and on behalf of the deal you're looking at. Because sometimes the systems that you see out there, the protocols, the processes might be less dynamic, less custom to you. So what you also need to implement is a system, but also a person that can look into that system and then they can optimize it based on what you're currently doing so that it just looks very custom and you move at the highest speed possible for the process, right? Same goes with offers and negotiations. Like if you're getting into this situation, what you're gonna do, right? If you're getting in A situation and B situation and C situation, what is gonna be the next step, right? You having all of these answers to a lot of these questions just saves you time and you can move very, very quickly. Um, Same goes with financing. If you already know all the lenders in the market, you already know typically what they lend for. You already know the typical concerns they will have and how they're going to calculate debt service cover ratio and how they're going to look at if a deal is bankable and how they're going to calculate all their numbers. Well, if you understand that, you can easily reverse engineer everything and find opportunities that would make more sense. If you don't have a system that understands that market from that perspective, and you don't have some of these contacts, you risk on losing a lot of time and making the wrong offers and just getting the LOIs accepted on the wrong things without even getting actual real feedback from people who are going to finance you. Same goes with investors. They might have a completely different thought process and concept of what step backs they want and what returns they want and what rights they want to have and so forth. So imagine having everything in a system and imagine having a person helping you around that all the time, 24/7. Well, what happens is most people need that to be able to get results. Even if I talk to guys that have done 2 deals, 5 deals, 10 deals, they need to have that to be able to do even more deals a lot quicker to scale. Or especially people who maybe never even done 3 deals, maybe done one or two, or maybe they're a first time buyer. Some of these individuals need to be able to follow something to be able to have confidence. So every time I talk to people, my takeaway out of that is that even if people are experienced in the process, or even people that are doing it for the first time, without having a compass like that, a protocol, a system, it gets very messy. You're kind of doing a lot of different things and you feel you're busy, but you're not actually solving the legitimate problems that are in front of you, and you're not moving the needle. You're doing a lot of work, but you're not getting the outcome. By having a system in place, the system's only designed to deliver an outcome. It's not designed to do something else. So you following that process from within the system, you're optimizing always to get a result. You're focused completely on that. You're not focused on something else. So I think that that's a very important topic for most people. Any business owner probably is going to get that. And I think that we need to go back to fundamentals to understand, okay, so what systems we have and what systems we don't have. How can we get access to them? How can we protocolize this and make a protocol out of it and just follow that to the T and not make any mistakes and reduce our number of mistakes we're making and um, essentially succeed in the process. So hopefully this is helpful. This was my takeaway from today from having a few calls with people, and hopefully you can implement this or surround yourself with some of these things to be able to succeed a lot more. Thank you for watching.